Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Black Digital Media TV. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us this evening. As you know, my name is Laron Barber. I have my wonderful guest co-host, Gina. How you doing today, Gina?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Laron.
Good. Well, listen, we have an exciting guest. Like I said, I always say that, but I don't know any other way to bring in a wonderful guest. We have Mr. Christopher Harold with us this evening. How you doing tonight, Christopher?
Oh, phenomenal.
That's what we want to hear right there. That's right.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a
I'm feeling
phenomenal show.
quite majestic tonight.
And I'm just excited. I know Gina's excited, and we hope that everyone just enjoys the show and just listen to what Christopher has to say. Christopher, he's a licensed minister. He's an entrepreneur minister. Actually, he's a kingdom marketing superman, family man, mentor, speaker, and author and influencer. That's what we need. We need more of those, and we really appreciate having you with us. And it's an honor to have you with us this evening. Okay, so let's get on with the show. Turn it over to Gina. Gina will finish introducing you, and we'll start the show. Gina.
Thanks, LeBron. Welcome, Chris. It was such a pleasure. I'm so happy that you accepted our invitation to be on the show tonight. When I got that email from you and I was reading through, I knew immediately that I wanted you on the show. So thank you for accepting our invitation. Like Laron said, I know you have all of these titles, but there's one thing in particular that I want you to share with us later on in the show, and that is your new book, Kingdom Affirmations. So I'm just going to throw that out there so that the audience can hear that you do have a new book that you're going to be showcasing tonight.
Right there. Yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes. So congrats on your new book.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're going to give you some time to during the show to kind of do your thing. Share a little bit about the book and where people can purchase it from. But one of the things Laron said is that you're a kingdompreneur. That's one of the things that comes up a lot with you. Yeah. So I want to get this going with the question that I know a lot of people are going to ask. Well, okay, so you're a kingdompreneur. Are you a Christian who has a business? What's the difference in a kingdompreneur or a Christian business owner?
Great question. And again, I appreciate you guys inviting me to be here, Laron and Gina. It's awesome. Definitely glad what we're going to go through and share tonight with everyone. So I guess to answer that question initially, I guess the first thing you have to do, you got to have a crown. If you're going to call yourself a kingdompreneur, a kingdom entrepreneur, you need to have a crown, and have a royal robe, because you got to be able to walk in that. And then affirm that, with a book like Kingdom Affirmations. But seriously though, I think for us, what's the difference between a kingdom entrepreneur, and someone else that might be, so you're a Christian doing business, right? Or here's the way I share it. And I share this all the time with my clients and students when I'm teaching. There are three types of entrepreneurs in existence today. First is just your general entrepreneur, someone that has a business or whatnot, and they're building something. And usually if you talk to them and find out what's their motive, they're doing something to build their own empire. So that's your general entrepreneur today. They're kind of building their own empire. Then the second type of person you might have is the individual you just mentioned, maybe the Christian who owns a business. And I was that person for 18 years. I was a believer, but Monday through Saturday, I was about my business. I was about my paper. I was about that. But on Sunday, I put on a new robe, a new hat, a new everything. I was full of the Holy Spirit, speaking in tongues, turning cartwheels, breaking back flips, doing all that good stuff, right? And for a couple of hours, you go to church, right? And then when Monday come, I'm right back on the hustle, right back on the grind. So I was able to separate the two. But what God revealed to me about a couple of years ago, when I really had this kingdom revelation, what I say, a paradigm shift. When you have a paradigm shift, you see things, experience things totally differently than what you did once before. And that to be a kingdom entrepreneur, or what some may say a kingdompreneur, is there is no separation. This is who you are 24/7, because the very foundation is not on you building up your own legacy, building your own empire. It's by expanding the kingdom of God through the marketplace. And there's no separation. What you do Monday through Saturday, you're the same person on Sunday because you're not divvying up the difference. There's no, oh, I'm gonna put on my business hat today and put on my quote unquote religious hat tomorrow. No, there's no such thing. And once I had this revelation, realizing that, man, it's a totally higher calling, totally higher assignment being a kingdom entrepreneur, because it's who you are. It's the very essence of who you are. And you can't separate the two. And where everything you do, your personal life, your relationships, the business, of course, that you're stewarding. See, it's no longer your business. Now you're managing it, right? You're managing it for a greater cause. And then what God revealed to me is that now God can do something with that. Because now you've willingly become a conduit, you become a vessel, and he can prosper that and grow that now, because you're not thinking about just building your own kingdom, right? You're looking to expand the kingdom of God through the marketplace. In my opinion, that's the number one place where you can have way more impact today, because you're touching people, dealing with the economy and everything else. So that's really what the three types of entrepreneurs out there. You have your regular entrepreneur, then of course you have your Christian who owns a business, and they kind of separate the two. And then of course you have your kingdom entrepreneur, where there's no separation. It's who you are. It's who I am now is who I am. No matter if I got a business or not, it's everything I do. And God gave me something called a prosperity pyramid. And we're going to talk about a little later as a framework to build all that on as well. Did I answer your question? Uh-oh.
So I just want to say right there, Chris, I appreciate you bringing that out. So let me just make sure I want to understand you properly when you say this. So you're saying that it's important, Chris, for Christians to have businesses, right?
Oh, well, here's the way I see it. God is an entrepreneur. If you truly understand the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, you can see God is an entrepreneur. Right? He's a creator. He's a producer. He is a problem solver. All an entrepreneur is a problem solver. And for as a believer, the difference is, like I said, I like saying the word kingdom entrepreneur, because it takes you on a different level, because you're expanding something bigger than you. Right. You're expanding the kingdom of heaven on earth. And one of the things I talk about, in my book on how to be able to do that. So it's essential what God is one. So that's what I love about it. So he's one. So and if you're a problem solver, then you already have the ingredients to be an entrepreneur, to be a business owner, because that's all we do is solve problems for people at a profit, and other breakthroughs as well.
So you believe that innately everyone can be an entrepreneur. So what kind of are there certain you mentioned ingredients that you think that entrepreneurs who are successful entrepreneurs would have? Because I know you like to you believe that there's certain emotions surrounding the poverty, which would lead to either you're successful or you're not, or there's some emotions surrounding being wealthy. Yeah. Can you share with us what you believe some of those emotions are as far as the poverty is concerned?
Yeah. On one of my, I think you mentioned one of my podcast episodes, the Kingdom Marketing Secrets podcast. I forget what episode that was, but I was talking about rich emotions and poverty emotions. Mm-hmm. It's because, everything's all internal first. The Bible talks about that. Romans 12:2, don't be conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In Proverbs, it said, as a man thinketh in himself, in his mind, so is he. So everything is all about mindset, so your mindset is going to determine what you're going to begin to attract. So say for instance, if your mindset controls your emotions, and of course your emotions control your behavior controls your habits, and your habits create your circumstances. That's what's going to be manifested by those things there. So your emotions are very important to have them intact, because if you say you want something with your mouth, but your mindset and your emotions say the opposite, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Right. So there are a lot of folks out there say, oh, I want to be rich, yet they have poverty habits and poverty emotions. So you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. No matter, you can pray all day long till you're blue in the face. You can ask the prophet or the Pope to lay hands on you. It's not going to change anything, because you got to fix your mindset first and those emotions. So let me give you an example. It is something that I discovered. There are certain habits, rich habits and poor habits. Well, statistics say that people that watch 1 hour or less of recreational TV per day tend to be way more successful financially than those who watch 2 or 3, 4, 5 hours of television, regular television, every single day, right?
Mhm.
Here's something to do with emotions, what I discovered by emotions. People who are more successful tend to speak their mind much less than those who are not successful. People who tend to be less successful in life tend to speak their mind a whole lot more and tell you how they feel and real quick. But someone who's more successful typically can restrain himself and thinks twice about that's controlling your emotions. These are proven statistics. And I've seen it for myself. I've seen it from my mentors. I've seen it from my peers, and it's true. So just different emotions like that can determine what you begin to manifest. And it doesn't matter you believe in God or not. What I love about God, he's going to respect the person, and he has certain laws in place that work no matter what your philosophy is. If I'm a farmer and I take this seed, and I could be the biggest atheist on planet Earth, right? But I got this seed and I put it in the soil, and I give it the right nutrients and the right sunlight, and put it in the right soil, and I nurture, take care of it. Well, I know, because there's a universal law that says seed time and harvest, that whatever you sow, you're going to reap. It doesn't matter if I pray to it, speak in tongues, it's not going to matter, right?
Right.
And so it doesn't matter what color skin I am. There are certain universal laws in place that I could be a black farmer, or I could be a white farmer. I plant that seed, I'm going to reap a harvest no matter what. So it's coming in touch with those things and being aware, which most people are not, I manifest certain things that you want.
So you're saying basically that planting the seed, is that putting that into your mind that this is what you're going to do? Is that what you're saying when you say that, Christopher?
Oh, well, for I mean, your mind is like a seed, your idea.
Once you put it in your mind, that it's going to materialize, it's going to grow, it's going to manifest.
Yeah.
So you got to you got to have that desire and commit your heart to it and put it in your mind and speak that. And then that's what you're going to produce. Then you're planting that seed at that moment mentally, it's going to continue to grow. So I was just saying, is that
part of how you I would agree, because you manifest things twice.
Okay.
Things are so you first is manifested in your mind, then you get in touch, then you get in touch with it with your emotions. I talk about that a lot in the book. A lot of folks try to use affirmations and they don't work. I for years tried affirmations and they didn't work. It's because I understand this stuff I'm sharing with, be sharing tonight. But you manifest things twice. So whatever we've seen was already manifested in the mental first. And then we followed the certain steps that manifested in the physical.
Right. Yeah, because one of the things that you have to do is you kind of have to feel into what it is that you want, right? That's part of the whole emotion part of it.
Yeah.
You have to feel into it.
Yeah, right? and the whole thing of entrepreneurship and business, let's get to the end point. If you want someone to buy your product or service, well, first thing they have to do is get in touch with their emotions, right? Because people buy emotionally first, and they justify with logic. So we have to get in touch with that. And if you have negative emotions and negative feelings, negative energy, people can sense that. It's like we're virtually right now. We're on virtual right now. But if we have some negative energy, even through these sound, even through these waves, the technology, you can sense that and feel that energy, right? So emotions and energy is real. Just as much as real. Being a person touching you is physical is real. It's all real.
And one of the things I wanted to mention, sorry, because you did mention the book of Proverbs, and I've read the Bible several times, but it wasn't until very recently, back in January actually, that I did a 30-day challenge with a particular group where we studied the book of Proverbs related to business. And I've never looked at the book of Proverbs as being one that could teach you about business, but it really can. So I was kind of I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's really a good book for anyone who's a kingdompreneur. Study the book of Proverbs related to business. There's a lot of wisdom in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, Christopher, you have part of you in our pre-meeting. You mentioned that you work with individuals in the church to help them start businesses or to think from an entrepreneurial perspective, building wealth. Is that right?
Yeah, right now, like I said, about a year ago, God gave me a new assignment to begin working with Christ-centered entrepreneurs, to be able to help them create a financially healthy business that attracts new clients online, and also teach them kingdom principles and kingdom laws, things that you can be in church a long time. I've had plenty of people come to our classes and been part of our mastermind programs, and they've been in church 30 some odd years, and they like the stuff they're hearing, them sharing is brand new, it's foreign to them because, there's,
Wow.
because a lot of things are just not taught.
Right.
In church, a lot of stuff is not taught to people, and most people don't know what the kingdom is, and people don't know how to create success beyond being told to give tithes and offerings. That's where it stops for most people at churches, right? And yet people who do that still struggle, still live check to check, still barely getting by. That shows it's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
But how important then do you feel that it's important for those that's leaders in churches and things like that to teach their members and have these type of efforts like what you're doing? Do you feel that's important that leaders should do that and I think that grows the community? What do you think?
Most definitely. But I think the mandate of the traditional church has lost its way. I know, the kingdom message is lost upon the church. They don't really get that anymore. But the whole mandate of, besides building something just for yourself, your own four walls, like you said, the community, you don't see that anymore. You don't see people getting skills. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, God said, I've given you the ability to create wealth. But if your pastor is not equipped, or if he or she is not willing to bring in someone else who is equipped for whatever reason, then they're doing the people a disservice, because you should be growing people up. You should be teaching people more than just giving a tithe. You should be teaching people how to create generational wealth, because Proverbs says a good man leaves an inheritance to his grandchildren, his children's children. Well, if you don't know how to do it, and if you're not getting it from the pulpit, then that's why most people go out, and look, in other places, because they're not getting it there. And so, I do think it's a responsibility, because a pastor, like I said, I'm a licensed minister. I'm not a pastor, but I've been pastoring, I guess, for the last year. You can kind of say, with these are different group, thousands of people I've been helping. But you mandated to help people, to shepherd people, and to help them do more, because God wants you to do more, because that way you can give more. But if you have nothing to give, if you can barely take care of yourself, who else can you bless? You can't do it.
When you just said that, Christopher, that kind of took my mind to when they say, rather than give a man a fish, we're going to teach him how to become a fisherman.
Right.
And that's what I thought when you mentioned that part, what the minister should do from the pulpit, and how they should be growing their congregation to be, kingdompreneurs. You know what I'm saying? And I think then that would, if we have more people that's business people from that mindset, I think some of the things that become, kind of this mysterious corruption or whatever. But then when you have people who start businesses that's got, good Christian principles or heavenly principles, if you will, then I think it just helps them be better stewards, better people that offer services, and they know how to treat people along the way too, right?
Oh, yeah. You begin to discover and fulfill your assignment. Go ahead.
So, Christopher, you mentioned about the whole disconnect. And I know that there was a time in your life when you mentioned, and you kind of shocked a lot of people, when you mentioned that you were leaving Christianity. So does this disconnect that you think exists, does this have anything to do with that period when you made that statement? And what exactly did you mean by that when you said you were leaving Christianity?
Yeah. Great question. I think that was episode 50. I mentioned that on my podcast. It was when I truly had this kingdom revelation that what most of us have today. Put it like this. I went to seminary. Many years ago. Some folks call it cemetery, you know, but you learn a lot about men's doctrine there. You learn, you know, but it's nothing taught on the kingdom of God. You know, the kingdom of God is the one topic that Jesus talked about more than any other topic in the 4 gospels. The only gospel that Jesus proclaimed was the gospel of the kingdom. He didn't proclaim the gospel of salvation. He didn't claim the gospel of tongues, the gospel of healing, the gospel of whatever, miracles, the gospel of wonders. Only one was the gospel of the kingdom. Yet less than probably 1% of all what you want to call quote unquote Christian churches today teach their people about the kingdom, because most of us have grown up in a democracy, like we're in the US. We truly have no concept and idea what a kingdom is, but from Genesis to Revelation, when the Bible was orally spoken and then later written on paper, it was under kingdom rulership. From Genesis to Revelation, when Jesus was here on planet Earth, it was under the Roman kingship and rulership. But from Old Testament and New Testament, so they understood what Jesus was talking about when he kept saying the kingdom of heaven is light, the kingdom of God is light. They understood it because they know how kingdoms work. Well, we have no idea because we live in a democracy and a republic, which is totally contrary and opposite to a kingdom. So we teach our own version, which is unfortunate. It's turned into a religion, right? With a lot of rules and regulations and theories and denominations and sects, and what we say is right and you're wrong and I'm right, you're wrong, you're going to hell, I'm right, I'm going to hell. That kind of stuff. That's the one thing that Jesus opposed. See, most folks think that Jesus came to earth to start a religion called Christianity, but he didn't. Nowhere in scriptures does it say that. But if you check history, man's revision history, you will see that Jesus is the founder of Christianity, just like Muhammad and Islam and Buddha and all. He didn't come to start a religion called Christianity. He came back. He told you, repent, for the kingdom of heaven has arrived. He came back to restore the kingdom of heaven on earth and give man a chance to restore his relationship with his creator, so man can begin to walk in their full power, authority, and dominion and do the things they were created to do before man fell in Genesis 3. He didn't come here. Isaiah tells you he came here with a government on his shoulders, not with a religion. But so as God was stirring up my spirit to really get into this and really study the kingdom, and keep like, man, we've truly been missing it. And that's why so many people we call quote unquote Christians don't have power. They don't have authority. They don't have control over their circumstances, right? Because as a religious person, your whole mindset is, I need to get up out of here and go to heaven. But once you have a kingdom mindset, your mindset is, I need to fulfill my purpose here while on earth because I'm an ambassador. Jesus said himself in his prayer, when he prayed for the disciples, he said, God, Father, don't take them out of this world. He said, don't take them out, but protect them from the evil one, right? So we have to understand that we have a mandate. God's given us authority here on earth. Heaven is not our home. We're from, you're born again, you're kingdom citizen, but heaven is where God dwells and where he rules. But he said, I'm giving you guys the earth to rule and domain. So once I start understanding this and start seeing a lot of, what's been taught and really realizing that, and I was a person who was a devout Christian. I used to go out and preach on the streets. I used to preach at Jay-Z, Beyonce concerts on the streets and homosexual rallies. And I used to be out there doing a lot of condemnation with people because that's what I was told to do. I'm right, you're wrong, you're going to hell. I'm going to heaven, right? But God had to really sit me down and give me a kingdom revelation, realize that everyone's looking for the kingdom. They're not looking for religion. People settle for religion. They settle for Christianity, Islam, Mormonism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and whatever else, all the other isms out there, right? Atheism, that's a religion too. They settle for that, but they're looking for the kingdom. But they just can't find it because no one's sharing the kingdom message with them to find that. That's what everybody wants. Everybody's looking for the kingdom. They're not looking for religion. Religion has caused more harm than good. Check the annals of history.
So on that note, okay, Laron, go ahead because I've got a question.
Yeah, but Christopher, I'm glad you're on here, and you definitely seem to have you're a certified minister. But do you believe a lot of people understand what religion is? Do a lot of people understand what that means, a religion?
Well, most folks when they hear religion, they just think, okay, well, you trying to find God, or it's your attempt to live holy and righteous to find God. But really, religion is man's attempt to, to try to connect with his creator. You know, you got what was the Hinduism has over 1 million gods, right? A god of everything, right? They're also trying to appease God. Most times, I was very, very religious, where I was trying to appease God for me to get blessed. I used to ask God to bless my business, and my mind said, well, maybe I need to give money to the church, or I need to join 4 ministries at the church. So now I can appease God. That's religion. And so now he would bless my business. That was my mindset, right? Or it's like, if I give $100 a day, the preacher man said, well, God gonna bless me, so I'm gonna get $1,000 a day. That's religion. That's me trying to appease God to do something for me. So usually when religion is trying to appease the creator, you know, to get favor. But once you understand the whole kingdom concept, you know, when the whole Jesus came, it's not about that. It's not about that. And so so I had to realize, like, man, this is nothing that Christ came on this planet to do. His number one opposition was who? Religious people. So why would he come here to start something that he opposed the most?
Good question. I have a question, because you talked a lot about this. How do people who are searching find out what their kingdom assignment is?
Great question. Now, for people
they're obviously searching for something. They're searching for their, to
purpose,
find out why and where they're placed on this planet to begin with.
Yes, that's a great question. Now, when I say kingdom assignment, if I'm talking to a group of believers, you know, like when I do my trainings and stuff like that, I'm talking to people, you know, who kind of got understanding that if you got a kingdom mindset, that means that you're here on planet Earth for a reason. In fact, every single body, regardless if you've been born again into the kingdom yet, or you're a pre-believer, you yet to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior and be born again into the kingdom, where you're going to experience kingdom citizenship, which is something else we didn't touch on, but it's totally different than a religion. With a religion, you have memberships. You join a church, you join a membership. Well, in the Bible, there's nothing about memberships. It's only in the kingdom, right? As a kingdom, you become a citizen, and when you become a citizen, you have rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Just like I'm an American citizen, you guys are an American citizen. We get rights. We have rights as American citizens, and we have privileges, right? But if we and we're expected to keep that law. Same thing in the kingdom, right? But what was your question again? Am I getting off topic?
How do we find out what our kingdom assignment is?
So yeah. So if I'm talking to general and public, you know, people in public, it's just your purpose, your destiny. There's no one is a mistake. No matter how you got on this planet, if you came from a broken relationship in your home, your mom and dad, if you quote unquote, you were told you were an accident, if you came through sin, whatever the case may be, God saw for it for you to be here, and you are a champion, because, you know, the science tell you, you know, that if you to be here, you won a major race to be here. So everybody here is on this planet to solve a problem for one another. Like I said, the whole entrepreneurship mind. So that means you have a purpose and destiny. What happens is, if we don't know it, or if we don't, I don't like saying the word know it, you have to discover it, because it's already in you. It's not something you got to go out there and put a search party for. You don't have to call, you know, the search party. It's already in you. You came to this planet with it, and typically you'll find it with stuff you're passionate about, things that are very easy to you that you don't have to think hard about. Stuff that a lot of times it could be some that things you could do all day and don't have to make a dime from it. Things that can benefit others. If it's just to benefit you, you know, the whole concept of don't eat the whole apple. I teach this concept. That's how you know everything in creation has a purpose. Don't eat the whole apple. If someone consumes the whole apple, I'm gonna look twice at that person, like something's wrong with that person, right? Think about it. How many folks you know eat a whole apple, eat the seeds, the stem, the core? Do you know anybody? No, right? Well, think about it. An apple is not just for your benefit alone. We can benefit from the fruit part of the apple, but there's 3 more components to that apple. You have a core. Well, who can benefit from the core? You give it to cows and horses, right? Well, then you have stems. What can a stem be used for? A stem can be used for fertilizer, right? And then you have a seed. The seeds, what are the seeds? The seeds are put back in the ground to multiply, to grow more. So even the concept of an apple is not for your own consumption. So nobody on this planet is here for self-consumption. God didn't create anybody to be their own island. just to build your own legacy, to build your own empire for self-consumption. You are here to benefit the greater good of mankind. And then you have to begin to walk, get around maybe someone such as myself or others, who understand this concept and help you pull it out of you. Because if not, you'll find substitutes. You'll find religion or you'll find sin. You get caught up in porn or fornication, adultery. You see people getting caught up in stripping, and right? And I used to be in the music business. You see folks getting caught up chasing money, right? Because you're trying to find yourself something, and you're like, well, I'm good at this. I'm making money at this, but if it can't give God glory or create a glory to it, then it's probably not part of your assignment. So it's really breaking these certain things down and realizing that, okay, I'm here for a purpose. No one's here by accident. And you're here to benefit others for a greater good, and then it's diving into a discovery process because it's already in you. You don't have to go and search for it. It's already in you, and once you discover it, not only will you know it, others would tell you. They will say, you are indeed walking in your purpose. You are indeed walking in your assignment. And it will be effortlessly. It won't be hard work. It won't be something like I knew my assignments was not working a job for the rest of my life because I'm psychologically unemployable. I've been full-time in my business now since 2016. I've been fired from 15 jobs. So I knew there was a disconnect there. But right. But I know God had me there for a reason, but I knew that wasn't gonna be my own long-term assignment and purpose. So it's finding your purpose in existence. And the first thing, and truthfully, the first way you're gonna find that is by getting reconnected to your creator.
And I think when you say that what that kind of makes me think of, because you said the word to discover, and we had one of our guests on the Mrs. Denman. She spoke that same thing, is to discover. And I think from what you're saying, what I'm gathering is once you discover, you find joy in your purpose. Is that right?
Yeah, it's natural. But like I said, I share a lot of things you can look for and see. But it's just like this. If you guys got vehicles, right? Well, the vehicles have owner manuals in there, right? And the owner manuals is written for whose benefit? Is it written for the manufacturer's benefit or for your benefit?
It's your for benefit. The person's benefit.
Person's benefit, right? And so, in order for you to fully understand, so you got a car, in order for you to fully understand how that car functions and it to properly work, you probably should read the owner's manual, right?
Right. Yeah.
And the manufacturer made it for a reason. Well, we know we didn't make ourselves. I don't care what you didn't come from no monkeys. You ain't no blob. This world didn't come out of nothing, because something from nothing can happen. So you didn't create yourselves. So that means obviously there is a creator out there, yeah. and he created you for a purpose. So you have to discover that, and he's written the owner's manual that we call the Bible, and it will help you discover your purpose. So what better place to start and then reconnect with your creator, right? And then you can begin to walk and fulfill your purpose and assignment, because you could be using the talents he's giving you, but if it's not connected to your creator, you're still not fulfilling your purpose. You could have $1 billion in the bank from a business, but if it's not part of your assignment, you're broke. You're in. And
I like what you said when you talked about that when we discover our purpose, and if we do it for God's purpose, then that means that we're doing it not for our own individual glory and satisfaction, but we're doing it to give him the glory and the honor. And I'm glad you said that, because it kind of made me think of why I created this particular platform. I always believe, and I've had my business for a long time, but I believe in order for me to be successful, I need to be about trying to help someone else be successful. And then in that, I think it helps me better to understand my purpose in life. And I have much joy doing that. And so when I created Black Digital Media TV, that was the whole point, was like, you know what? I want to build my platform, but I think in order for this platform to grow and to be all it needs to be, I need to be about finding other individuals that has their platform, and we just become another voice that helps them. And we all just, help each other, grow each other's platform, because our community needs that. Our community really needs that, and they need to see that. So we have to be the change that we want to see.
That's true. Yeah. I agree.
Several years ago, I got got diagnosed with what my doctors at the time were calling an incurable illness, lupus, right? And I was a teacher at the time, teaching art and sculpture to junior high kids and high school kids. And it literally like turned my life around, because it put me on a journey to studying herbalism, which I never would have thought about doing until I went through that illness. Because it turned out that some of the pharmaceuticals that I was taking ended up almost killing me. But that was on a morning when I had visited an herbalist. I woke up really sick one morning and decided to go and visit this particular herbalist that I'd heard so much about. And she had already given me some things to go through when, shortly after that, I collapsed in the store and ended up being rushed to the ER. And that kind of put me on a journey to studying herbalism and studying how your plants interact with the body, and eventually going back to the Bible. And right there in the Bible, it says the plants and the trees are for the healing of the nation, and it's not something that that studying just kept on until I finally got certified as an herbalist. And then about 4 years later, actually back in December 2019, got certified as a master herbalist. But it's something that I never would have thought about. And it's something that I'm so passionate about. I've managed to still continue with teaching art because I know that's part of what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. But this whole thing about helping other people heal from a disease that everybody is telling them is incurable, and using natural remedies. Because one of the things that I kept on looking for people who were using natural remedies to heal, and I couldn't find a group or anything that was available. So I created one. And then people started joining because they said, we've been searching and searching, and we finally found this platform. We finally found somebody who's doing what I want to do. But it's not, again, and I've thought about this over the years since I've been going on this journey. It's like, is this really what my purpose is to be sharing all of these, natural remedies with people? And up to today, I got a question. Have you tried, or have you found any success using essential oils with neuropathy? And it's like, yes, because I've been on that journey myself. I've done all the experimenting. I've studied all of the oils and the different plants. But it's not a journey that I would have personally put myself through. And while I was on that journey, I said, God, did you actually like slap me with this illness just so I can go down this path? And it was like one of those, well, I kind of had to do it because you really weren't paying attention. Because lupus wasn't my only diagnosis.
Yeah.
For about 15 years, I was getting hit with one diagnosis after another. Right. Yeah. And it was literally when getting hit with lupus and then being told it's incurable, you're going to be living with it for the rest of your life. Here's a pill, and then here's 15 more, and you're going to be taking these pills for the rest of your life. It's like, no, that's not what God told me. Yeah. Right? God is the ultimate healer, and He doesn't say that. As far as I'm concerned, He didn't tell me I'm going to die from lupus or any other disease. So you can take, take all of that stuff. So it definitely, that was, and I said all of that to say this, because I know that when you go through a crisis, sometimes that can put you on a path that you never thought that you would ever go on. And that can also help you. That crisis can help you to discover what your purpose is.
Yes.
Right.
And I mentioned to you today, so we talked a little bit earlier, Gina, and that kind of takes me back. So one of the things I mentioned to Gina earlier today, Christopher, is I told her, I says, one thing I've learned in life has a way of pushing you, but when it pushes you, it actually pushes you to the next step in your life that moves you a step up. And so that's done through, what maybe like she says, through crisis, illnesses in our life. And I think it just life has a way of moving us maybe out of our comfort zone to take that next step towards our purpose and finding out what our purpose is in life. But what do you do, Christopher, when you talk to people to help people kind of understand the best way to find their purpose in life? How do you explain that? How do you kind of get them to think that through?
Yeah. Well, as Gina was sharing the story, just the first thing that was coming to my mind was that crisis presents opportunity. You know, as far as I started God's Masterpiece last May, which is a movement of kingdom entrepreneurs, all across the world, where they're, teaching them how to grow their business, scale their business, and leveraging kingdom principles and things of that nature. Well, that movement came out of a crisis. Yeah, of course, last year, that was when the pandemic hit. But last March, this was funny. When you look back at how God be doing things, I lost all my clients. At that time, I was doing a digital marketing agency, and I lost all my clients when the pandemic hit. So a lot of folks was panicking. They was afraid. But God was telling me, I got something new for you, because He's been stirring my spirit for the last 3 or 4 years about helping His sons and daughters, teaching them online marketing, teaching them sales strategies, teaching them mindset stuff, teaching them the kingdom way and not, the religious Christian way, but, teaching them how to impact. And it attracted so many. I had Muslims that was coming to my classes. I was doing these classes every month, these live challenges, because I was attracting them with the kingdom message, not with a religious message. But all that started in the midst of a crisis, and I had no idea, God was going to be doing that, prior. So crisis was opportunity. So what do I share with people? Well, like, I have my affirmation card here that, you guys you'll get my book. You're gonna get the book. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I send you these free affirmation cards as well. And the top one says on here, the very first one says, I am created to succeed. So a lot of my clients and students come to me because they want to grow their business, get more sales strategies, get more clients, all that good stuff, right? Start a business, discover how to score a business, take their expertise and offer it to people, right? But first thing I do with a lot of them is we do a mental assessment of where you are mentally, because if you don't believe, if you are created to succeed, if you have a lot of limiting beliefs, it doesn't matter the strategies and the techniques that I give you. You're going to find a way to self-sabotage it and not to create the success that you want, because everything starts here. That's why I wrote that book, because if you don't know who you are, and you can't speak who you are or what your creator says who you are and what you are here to do, it doesn't matter how hard you work. I used to hustle and strive for many, many, many years. And I created very minimal to mediocre success. And I'm talking about hustling and striving. It's because mentally I had these blocks. Mentally, I felt that maybe I don't really deserve this. Mentally, I felt that if I do become really successful and start making all this more money than others, how are they going to look at me? I'm supposed to be a believer. Is that mindset? Christians can't be rich. If you're rich, now you're wicked now. You can't have God and money. You can't do that. Jesus said, no, you can't do it. Right. So all these, you can't love money. If you love money, then now you're evil, misquoting scriptures and all that stuff. Right. But in the back of my mind, my subconscious, what matters more, that was there. So I could never manifest the results that I wanted. I had to have a mental makeover. A lot of folks go do a physical makeover and they do an extreme home makeover. That's fine. But you got to have a mental makeover. And you have to replace those limited beliefs and negative thoughts with stuff like this. Yeah. That's in it. And you have to believe it, and you have to feel it and begin to basically re-brainwash yourself again. You've been brainwashed already.
And I like you saying that, Christopher, and I'm happy that you mentioned your card. You have 7 things on that particular card. Can you go through what those 7 things are?
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, that's on the front, because it's front and back, but it's on the front here. First one says, I am created to succeed. And now I teach a technique, in my book, because I've tried affirmations for years, and maybe a lot of your guests and people watching this have too. But yet you couldn't manifest the results. I tried The Secret. You remember The Secret came out a long time ago? I tried to do all that stuff and mantras and manifest and doing meditation and all that stuff and subconscious programming. You do all that stuff. And I didn't have no new Mercedes pop up in my driveway. It wasn't working, right? Well, so the first was I am created to succeed. then I'm an influencer in the world. A lot of folks don't see themselves as influencers, but one of my favorite passages comes from Matthew 13:33, where Jesus was giving a parable about the kingdom. And he said the kingdom is like leaven, where the woman took 2 small pecks and 3 small pecks of flour until it was all leavened. Well, the word leaven in the Greek means influence. So in this, he's saying that the kingdom is like influence. And you take something small and you put it in the world, and then it grows, right? So you are called to be an influencer. And either way, you've been influenced or someone's influencing you, you know. So you have to, so you need to be an influencer for good and see yourself as an influencer. A lot of folks don't see themselves as that. They're like, oh no, that ain't me. I leave that for the other people. No, if you're here, you are called to be an influence. So then the third one, I am chosen by God. You know, in my book, I go through scriptures. I explain all this stuff in a lot more detail in the book. But realize that one thing I love what Jesus told his disciples, and this is how you understand that what an ambassador means, what the scriptures say we are, you know, the leader, the king, the prime minister, the president chooses ambassadors. They're not elected officials. You vote for everybody else. But the president chooses his own ambassador. The leader of a country chooses his own ambassador. And it doesn't matter what the public thinks. God said, I have chosen you. Jesus said, I have chosen you. You didn't choose me. So it's an honor to be chosen by God, because if he chose you, that means that he sees something in you. He already put something in you, what you can accomplish. So it's an honor to be chosen by God. Fourth one, I am a leader. Society would tell you, you can only be a leader if you're charismatic. Maybe if you dress up like this, and you or what's the old ancient Chinese proverb that says, the person who leads and no one's follower, just taking a walk. Well, that's not true. Because society would tell you that, well, every single body created in the image of God is in fact able to lead, right? In your capacity. Mm-hmm. The disciples were leaders, even though they followed Jesus, but they led, right? So everybody is a leader. If you create an image of God, you are a leader in your specific assignment. But society would tell you, well, since you're not a supervisor, since you're not a manager, since you're not quote unquote a boss, you're not a leader. Since you don't have 100 people following you, you're not a leader. And that's a negative too. If you think about social media conditions people to be followers. Instagram, people that subscribe to you are called followers. They label you as a follower. Look at the stuff so like this. See, this stuff goes in your subconscious. You go to Clubhouse. I just started getting on Clubhouse recently. It's a bunch of followers and consumers on Clubhouse. Why? Because they've been conditioned to be a follower. See, social media tells you are a follower. And that stuff goes in your subconscious, and what you begin to manifest what's in your subconscious. Because what's in your subconscious is like your hard drive.
True.
Fifth thing, I'm living my purpose. We kind of talked about that. Purpose, destiny, assignment. Living. You're doing what you are here on this earth to do. Mm-hmm. But sixth thing, this is a good one. I see opportunities for success everywhere. Two people can look at the same identical thing. Case in point, a year ago when the pandemic hit, a lot of my clients panicked when I had my digital marketing agency. They ran. They said, I can't pay you no more. I can't do no more marketing, no more ads. I'm done. And I said, no. This is the opportunity now to do more, because everybody else is running just like you. But they didn't have the eyesight to see it. I knew it. I perceived it. And so what the Lord told me to do was do this assignment, and I ramped it up, and I had my best year ever in my life in 2020. God was blessing our business so much that we was making annual incomes in a day. Never happened before in the middle of a pandemic. Because why? You have to be conditioned. Right? Jesus said, let those who have ears, let them hear. And those who have eyes, let them see. So is the glass half full? Is it half empty? So you have to have your mind conditioned and trained to see opportunities all the time. Every problem is an opportunity. Every problem is a business. But you got to be mentally conditioned to see that. And the last one says, I set new standards. Well, if you're a kingdom entrepreneur, you should be setting standards for the world. But what typically happens is the world sets standards for believers. The world tells you what's cool, what's happening, what you should do, how you should dress, how you should talk, where you should put your money at, what you do, where you should do all this, and you follow the world standards, and it doesn't work. It doesn't prosper. Why? Because it's totally contrary to what your creator is leading you to do. So I set standards, right? So that's my whole mindset. Is I teach my kids this stuff. I have a 16-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 6-year-old, soon to be 7. They go through these affirmation cards. They go through these. I say, read these to me, and not just read them to me. I said, say it to me as you see it in your mind's eye. I'm teaching my kids how to see themselves already prospering before it happens.
Well, I agree with you so much. And when I saw those 7 things on your card, I was like, wow, this is powerful. And I tell you, brother, I am so honored that you went through each of those 7 steps on Black Digital Media TV. So this can help you push those things, brother, because I love the way you phrased each one of those. And I hope everyone listens to that and just really hold it tight. I mean, you did an excellent job. So thank you so much for going through those. So definitely, man, good job.
Yeah, and Gina? One of the things that I love is that several of them started out with the words "I am," and I love that because I did a podcast recently where I said "I am" are 2 of the most powerful words that exist, because what follows after that speaks life or death. You know, that's one of the things that helped when I was on my healing journey. That's one of the things that I did was I had "I am" and it was healthy, or "I am in the best shape of my life. I am," and it was everything positive. And when you keep saying that, I mean, you are literally embodying that. And I found that out, that as every day I spoke to my body, I said, I am healthy. I am healthy. I am healthy. My doctors weren't seeing it, but eventually I'm sitting in front of you, and compared to 6-7 years ago, it's a totally different person. Yeah. You know, the 6-7 years ago, I was using a cane. I was using a walker. I was using a motorized chair just to get motorized wheelchair just to get grocery shopping done. But yet today, there's no walker. There's no wheelchair. There's no cane, nothing. So, but yeah, those, when you whatever you put behind those words, "I am." So as you were saying that, it's like, yes, the two most powerful words, because what follows after can determine whether, you know, it's life or death.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
And you know, I believe, Christopher, that we definitely speak life into our life. We speak whatever we feel and believe. If we don't speak it and believe it into existence, if we don't say it, believe it, and see it and strive for it, I don't think we'll ever attain it. You know what I'm saying? So those words, and I like how you phrase each one of those. You know, you started with "I," but then you said "am." I understand that, so I really appreciate that. So definitely, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Gina?
And one other thing that you mentioned too, and there's when you were talking about it, the Chinese word popped into my head, and that's I'm probably going to butcher it, and then that's okay. They'll forgive me. Wei Ji, and that word is actually danger and opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's the word for crisis.
Right. Yeah, I heard that recently.
The Chinese word has 2 words. It's danger and opportunity. So as you were talking about that, yes, within every crisis, there is an opportunity that will arise for you. It's going to kind of propel you forward to, you know, whatever your next level is going to be. So that particular Chinese word, I really like that because of the 2 words that are in there.
Isn't that powerful? Words have meaning. That's, you know, that's a subtitle of the book: How to Activate the Power of Heaven on Earth in Your Words. Words are powerful. So just like that, I mean, the English language is not the best language on the planet. You know, I like studying the Hebrew and the Greek because they're very rich. Because, you know, English, just, you know, the English is a very narrow, you know, very superficial language. But like that, just think about that. When people think of crisis in English, you automatically get a negative emotion. You think of fear, you think of danger. But the Chinese, they've been conditioned to think of opportunity. It's all about conditioning. It's all about your mindset. So words mean everything.
And you mentioned conditioning your mind, because you said earlier that social media Christopher. It conditions us to be followers.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that you brought that point out, because when you mentioned that, I'm like, you know what? You're right.
It's
It
true.
does say I got 100,000 followers. Wow. You know, Christopher, I think you saying that and people that hear this, that's going to make people kind of reevaluate themselves and say, you know what? No, I'm not just a follower.
Right.
I'm a leader. But
Right.
I like how you went and you wrapped that whole thing. I like how you did that. And it's just like you said, it's time to do more. I'm not just a follower. It's time to do more. So find our purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. You were created to solve a problem for people. You know, that's I have a lot of clients and students that I have a broad. I have people coming my, me already got multiple 6-figure businesses, and they want to grow that. I got some people in the middle. I got some people brand new, and so it's helping them discover. Okay, what are you good at already? What are you skilled? Because most folks think they're not that skilled and talented and gifted. That's not true. You're here to solve a problem for someone, and it's okay to monetize it. Because if you're stuck in religion would tell you, no, you don't monetize it. You give it away for free. No, that's poverty thinking.
That's poverty mindset, right?
That's poverty mindset. That's why the church has produced. This is my opinion. The traditional church has produced, and I think it's fact, way more poverty than casinos, than gambling, than the lottery combined. Because you've conditioned people to think that having wealth, creating wealth, is evil, which is preposterous. Because I've been able to help more people in the last year due to the prosperity in my business. I'm talking about people, I don't talk about this kind of stuff, but like I've been able to help people, a group over in Kenya who don't have the same opportunities. These people are in extreme poverty. Extreme. They make our ghettos look like suburbs, right? I mean, they literally, they play in sewage water and they act like they're in a swimming pool, right? Because they don't know anymore, but they live in huts, mud houses. And due to the success in the business, I've been able to give financially and help them build schools, help them build houses. That would have never happened without the prosperity happening in the business, without the abundance happening in my business. If I was concerned about paying my bills, that would have never happened. Right. So we got to break this mental curse amongst believers, to think that having an abundance, having wealth, having money is evil. Because in my opinion, if you got that kind of mindset, in my opinion, you're selfish. And I tell people that if you're selfish, because nowhere in scripture does it say that. Paul even said, go out and work with your hands so you can do what? Give to the poor.
Yeah.
So it's your ethical duty to do so, but it takes the mindset first.
And I like you said ethical duty. I like that. And then you said that, and also saying that prosperity, that I think with that mindset, it produces resources. Yeah. And with those resources, you're able to do more. Now you're able to do these things over in these different countries because you do believe in prosperity, but it's not to be a selfish person. It's so that I can do more, not just for me, but for someone else. So definitely, I like how you said that.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I know that you have a new book, Kingdom Affirmations. So I know that a lot of people have been benefiting from it because I see pictures of people holding it up after they've received it in the mail. So here's your opportunity. Promote.
Awesome. Well, yeah, God really inspired me to create this book in the middle of a pandemic. To be able to help you activate the power of heaven on earth in your words. And so I'm excited to share this with you. Not only do we have a physical book, and literally it's the way the book is outlined. I explain how to use it at the beginning. It has scriptures. Each affirmation has a scripture. Then I expound on each one, so you can apply it. I explain how to use it. So not only, will you get a feel? I mean, you can see some of the, just some of the affirmations right here when you get started. There's all kinds of ones in here. But not only will you have that in here, I also have an audio book. Because this is what I recommend. Right now, you can go to kingdomaffirmations.com, and I got a special. Now, if you want, you can go to Amazon and buy the book and pay a lot more for it. You won't get any bonuses. But if you go to kingdomaffirmations.com right now, I got a special that I'm doing. And I'm going to give you 3 additional bonuses. You go to the page, you will see by getting this at kingdomaffirmations.com. Plus, I highly recommend that you get the audiobook with it. Why? Well, am I trying to sell more to make more money? Yes and no. It's to benefit you, number one. But here's the deal. Science has proven this. Studies have shown that if you listen to an audiobook also while reading it, you will retain it 7 times more, and it will impact you 7 times more. Because why? You're using more of your senses. So I got an audiobook, a companion audiobook you can go pick up at kingdomaffirmations.com as well. And I got some more valuable resources there that you will see at the site as well. So I highly recommend it for every believer, especially if you are in entrepreneurship or want to start a business. It'll benefit every believer. You could be whatever. It'll benefit you. If you tried secular affirmations, regular affirmations, they didn't work, try these. Because these are inspired by your creator who knows you better than you know yourself. And so that's why they will work. And it will help you unlock favor and be able to create real, tangible, substantial results in your life. So if you want something positive, inspirational, something that is impacting people from all over, literally, I highly recommend you get this and get the companion audiobook with it as well. Like I said, I got some extra free bonuses you can go take advantage of right now as well, simply by going to kingdomaffirmations.com, kingdomaffirmations.com. And you will thank me later, I promise. You will thank me. This would be impactful, and the small.
And we'll put that link in the comments so people will be able to just click on it and go straight to the site. Now, I like the fact that you said that it is you do have scriptures to go along with all of these, and that's powerful. Yeah. So this is not just a book that you listen to; it's also a workbook, right?
Well,
there are some.
Well, I explain how to use it, and one of the bonuses that you will get is called Affirmation Secrets, where I'm going to expound even more on how to make affirmations work. Because I'm sure many people tried affirmation. I tried it for years. Like I said, I tried all kinds of stuff for years, and it never truly worked. Well, I'm gonna explain how to make it work for you. I go through a technique in here where I explain scientifically how to make it work, why things didn't work before, because and how to be able to manifest it. I teach you something called image streaming as well, that it will allow this stuff to work for you as well, because we see in pictures. So and I explain the technique. In my opinion, this should be something you should read every day. I mean, you could read it. It's a quick read, but it's not something you want to read one time and put down, because Rome wasn't built overnight. And if you want to change tangible results, you got to create a habit. So I recommend you reading this every day for the next 6 months. And don't rush through it. Go through it, implement it. How I tell you how to do it in here, and apply it, and it will work. You will see results, and you'll be oh man, I need to get 10 more books for 10 more people.
Yeah, I like how you made the offer with the audio as well. And you're right. When you connect all of your senses, it is so much more powerful. There's a meditation that I do that's called, I call it the 5 senses, where I go through, and if I'm like feeling really anxious, it brings me back in, where I sit down and say, okay, what am I hearing? What am I seeing? What am I tasting right now? So if I'm drinking, like right now, I'm drinking some tea, so I can go through and I can say, okay, I'm tasting the turmeric and all of the different spices in there. All right, what am I feeling? So right now, I might be feeling really excited because I'm on this call with LeBron and Christopher. So I go through all of my senses, and so okay, maybe I'm smelling like this awesome cake that's being baked. So you're incorporating all of the different senses, and you're right. It's so powerful when you're listening to a book while you're reading it, because you're tying those two together. It really is.
Yeah, and I like how you brought in the survey, the statistics that shows that when you listen to audio, because they say that's why they tell you when you read out loud, because then you kind of can retain it, and like you said, you're kind of stimulating these other mind capabilities of the body to help you retain that. So definitely, so everyone that's listening, definitely go to kingdomaffirmation.com, buy this book. Gina, you said you purchased it already?
No, I'm heading to it right after this.
All right.
And okay, good. Go
And
ahead.
I've been getting his emails and all of the little nudges.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw these in too. Oh, I'm gonna give you some. These is some bonus. I got there's some other bonus on my website. Plus, I'm gonna throw this in for you guys as well, so you can have this. This is the powerful affirmation cards for you as well already. And I'm personally going to autograph and sign with a personal message for you as well. So that's the advantage of getting in my website. If you go buy them, the book selling site out there, you won't get none of the extra bonuses. But you go to my site, you get all the extra stuff in there as well.
And everyone, for those of you who are watching, also sign up for his all of the different emails. He does have a podcast. I think he does have a clubhouse as well. So make sure you sign up for all of these things. His emails alone are very inspirational. If you listen to his podcast, you learn so much that we couldn't possibly pack all of that into just this hour. So make sure you go to his website, sign up for subscribe to his to getting the emails, and you will be blessed by these emails.
Yeah, podcast is called Kingdom Marketing Secrets, just in case you might want to know. But I think about 87 episodes deep in that right now.
Well, it was an honor, Christopher, having you. Thank you so much for accepting Gina's invitation. It was an honor to have you. Thank you so much for allowing us to help you spread your word, move on your journey. And I'm definitely looking forward. You and I had talked about maybe doing some things together. Let's see how we can continue to work together. I definitely want to be a part of helping you do what you do. You can help me, and I can see that positive. And I just hope all those that's watching just can see the same thing. Let's go, everyone. Let's jump in. Let's be the community. Let's be the change that we say we want to see. We don't have to worry about someone else making a change for us in our communities. We need to do that for ourselves. We also need to do that in our churches and how we assemble ourselves as a people. We are some beautiful people. We are beautiful Black people. Let's love each other, love on each other, work with each other, help each other, and let's move our purpose, because God brought us here for a reason. But we have to be able to create wealth, generational wealth for our kids. Leave that. Let's take that entrepreneurship. I loved how you call it kingdompreneur, and I think that's a great way to put it. So again, it was an honor having you. We only want to see success. We all ask and we pray for those things as well too. So thank you once again, Gina.
Thank you again, Christopher, for accepting my invitation. It has been a pleasure. And I know that this is not the end. I mean, we'll click off of this live stream, but we're still connected elsewhere. And I will continue to share. We'll continue to share this stream so people can, we'll get your message out. And please go purchase his book, because I can tell you that it's going to be amazing. It is, affirmations are one thing. Affirmations that are biblically sound. I mean, all of these are going to come. There's a Bible, a scripture that's associated with each affirmation. That's the power behind it. Get this book. I mean, I've been blessed by every email that I've received from Christopher, every single one. So I know that you're going to be blessed by this book. So, I don't normally like promote, but I'm promoting right now. Get the book.
And we just ask everyone that's watching, and please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and let's grow each other's visions, be a part of our purposes together. And I think if we come together as a people, the way that you're speaking to it, I think we're gonna do a lot of good for our community, for our people, for all of us. We want to do good for everyone, but we as our people that look like us, we need to continue to work together and do better. And I think we will. So again, thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And definitely look forward to continuing collaboration together.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Take care.